It's time to get your fix with Awkward Arsic and Mr. Fifth. Coast to coast coverage of Universal's Halloween Horror Nights begins now. HHN Addict, embrace the sickness.
How's it going, guys? Awkward Arsic here, Mr. Fifth over here, and we're back with another HHN video. So what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about the biggest differences between the Hollywood and Orlando events.
I think one of the biggest differences that we're going to mention right away is alcohol.
Yes.
That's in Orlando, and it's a dry event here.
Back in the day, a lot of back in the days.
Back in my day, you guys are gonna hear me do that intro like every time because he continues to say that.
Yes,
but
yes, he likes to rub in the fact that he's the young one in the group here. But back when I was working at the event, when the event before it went into its hiatus, I guess really it's the biggest difference between the Hollywood event and the Orlando event is the people. Mm-hmm. The people who go to the Orlando event are there to have fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's a vacation
hotspot. Everybody's there just for the resorts and for the theme parks.
The locals flee to the events. Yeah. I mean, there's some great people out there. Hate to Fly.
The trackers.
Trackers. Love the trackers. There's a bunch of just good people. Like, when I go to Orlando, I don't feel unsafe. And then you go to Hollywood. And the reality is people are just dicks.
They are.
In Los Angeles.
Not you guys, of course, because, you know.
Yeah, if you're watching, we love you.
Yeah.
We lose so much stuff because people are sensitive little pansies. You might not know. I'm engaged to a man.
Bro, you're gay?
Chris and I both went to the Bill and Ted that had the homophobic slur. They attack everything. They attack black. They attack white. They attack gay, straight, Mexican. You name it, they attack it.
Next one, more related to the actual attractions and stuff. The complexity of the mazes we've seen in Orlando versus Hollywood. And we'll kind of just delve deep in that.
To John Murdy's credit, all of the mazes that you see in Hollywood are typically always built inside the portable tents, which typically are about the same size. You don't really see a ginormous queue versus a smaller queue.
Yeah.
What's beautiful about Orlando is they have these massive sound stages,
and you have air conditioning in there. It's of course it's way hotter over there, but you go in there, and if they want a snowy scene in a certain maze,
so they definitely have environmental control nailed. Sizes of the mazes are massive.
Yeah.
They have the two pop-up tents, and the two pop-up tents, I'm curious, I've never really done the research to see how big those guys are compared to like ours.
The two that stand out in my head are the Insidious maze and the Halloween maze in Orlando, where their facade was, for Insidious, it was legitimately like they had the porch, the stairs going up, and 2 stories, and the house was like a legit house size. You don't walk through it, which is a little weird to me because you walk around it and then you enter the side of the tent, so the immersion on that part is a little funky.
Always go through the side of a scary house.
It's like, that's weird.
The laws definitely have to be different here in California versus Florida when it comes to building codes, because you find in Los Angeles that it typically always is a little more open and airy. It doesn't feel like you're quote-unquote no claustrophobic feel. And there's definitely not areas that you have to crawl or areas that you have to turn sideways to get through or anything of that sort.
So if you guys don't know about that, like for example in Alien vs. Predator a couple years ago, here our ending was amazing. We had a finale with a 16-foot tall alien queen, which was very cool, but Orlando went on the smaller scale, and it was still extremely scary because you had to go under a vent.
It was a crawl space.
A crawl space. You go down, and you just look up, and you can see the strobe lights, and you see an alien prop there. But you don't know if it's a prop. It just, with the strobe light, it looks like it's moving. And then you look over to your left, and a freaking alien head pops out literally right next to you while you're crawling. So it's, I don't know, we've never had that in Hollywood. So do you think that is only because of laws?
So I have to say, I think that probably is just dealing with the laws. Hollywood, while everything feels open, they do have the policy scare the chair, which I think is actually very cool, because like often you'll find when people are in wheelchairs or whatnot, you're not sure. And I remember as a scare actor back in the day, and this was before Scare the Chair was part of the process, you didn't know whether you were supposed to scare people that were in chairs because you didn't want to make them freak out, fall out of the chair, have anything happen in that sort. I give props to Murdy because it's nice that he actually said, these people are paying the same amount as the people that aren't in a wheelchair.
Yeah, and like during your orientation and when you walk through the mazes and John Murdy's there with you, he tells you that. He's like, doesn't matter if it's somebody in a wheelchair or if it's a kid, if the person is in the event and they're going through the maze, give them the exact same experience, and that's what you have to do, and that is cool.
Let's talk about scare zones.
There's a couple more things I want to talk about with mazes.
Okay,
There's
shoot.
just two more things.
Shoot.
With Insidious, also, it's another thing, but they have the inflatable walls.
Yes.
And you have to push through the inflatable walls. Things like that, or the scare from above. Certain things like that, these scares that are like out of the norm here, we get over there. And I'm just curious, are those, you think, also because of laws only, or is that just them kind of sticking to...
I would have to guess with that.
I want scares from above here in Hollywood. I just feel
and
like...
it feels like this is kind of interesting because we were talking about this today. When you think of Universal Studios Florida versus Universal Studios Hollywood, Florida feels so much bigger. Like, it feels massive.
Yeah.
And the thing that they do, and we'll talk about scare zones in a second, but you feel like the event is solid. Like, it's everywhere. And Hollywood's a little broken up.
Mm-hmm.
Actual acreage that you could walk on. And the two parks, I swore that Hollywood was going to be like a little tiny itty bitty cracker.
Yeah, like a fourth of it or
Yeah.
something, but no.
It's actually the opposite. So, I mean, obviously, I think there is definitely a huge budget difference, which I'm not really sure how that works, because you think that they would be able to have the same capacity, pull in the same people.
Hollywood has, I think, another difference in the mazes, especially, scare zones as well, is the mask that the scare actors wear.
Mm-hmm.
The quality, because we have Boneyard effects and we also have Maggie effects, who do the prosthetics and the silicone masks.
Which this year we lost Boneyard, correct?
Did we?
I believe we did.
Shoot.
Because he's working on his own project this year, so I believe that he's not...
Oh, wow. We'll see, yeah.
I'd be shocked if he did both. I mean, maybe.
But just the mask quality over there, they tend to do more makeup, but the masks and stuff are a lot different. So I wonder if the budget, like you said, if they have more mazes...
is the same, but they just spend it different?
Maybe. I don't know. It's weird.
But in the mazes... In Orlando, I don't recall black walls. I don't ever recall a transition being a black wall or a black curtain or anything of that sort.
And for you diehard fans, I know for sure you guys will know about the black walls, because I think the general public that walks through, if there's black walls, no big deal. They're just like, oh, this is a part of the maze.
But if you're an HHN addict...
then that's where you're like, what the fuck is this construction wall doing in the maze?
The green wallpaper that was used in the Halloween maze.
2014? Was that the year we had the Halloween maze? 2014, 2015?
In the Persian Courtyard.
Yeah.
Great maze, but you lost the immersion completely.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest, just what happened there. Because it could have easily, like you said, been black wall with some vines, fake vines or whatever. But no, it was literally the construction walls that they use outside in the regular day operation.
And the one thing I'll say, and Arsic will say the same thing, we have a tremendous amount of respect both for Murdy and for Mike. Both of them are incredible brains that pull off something that, if you really think about it, it's a task.
Yeah.
Hollywood's team is far smaller,
Way smaller
than Orlando's.
And in Hollywood's credit especially is they're the ones that brought the IPs to the event. Before that, Orlando was doing primarily original mazes. They had a handful of IPs here and there, and you can see what's more successful because Orlando had to adopt that style. Yeah. And it's probably because Comcast realized that we're bringing in more of the general public because you have Insidious and Exorcist and Friday the 13th, and Orlando wasn't doing that, at least to the extent that Hollywood is. So that's another difference. We're comparing the two events, so we are going to say Hollywood does certain things better, Orlando does certain things better, but we love the event, so if we are critical, it's not that we hate it. So, and I'm sure you guys are the same way when you talk about it.
I'm the first to say, I'm a California boy. I was born and raised here, but and even working in Hollywood, I was always Hollywood's the best. Mm-hmm. Hollywood's the best. And I have to admit, Orlando has ruined me. I think every event, whether it be Hollywood and Orlando, that you're going to have years that one might be a little bit stronger than the other. Mm. But my experiences in Orlando have always been so positive that I just can't think of the idea of not going.
We both experienced HHN Orlando for the first time during their anniversary year. So we got to see Jack the Clown back and Chance together. It was 9 houses, which we're not used to seeing 9 houses, 2 shows, these massive scare zones. So yeah, going into that and then coming back to Hollywood, which is smaller scale in certain ways, definitely spoils you just a bit.
And I feel like when you're in Orlando, I'm moving into the scare zones now.
Yep.
I feel like the scare zones, I feel like there's not dead spots in the event. Like, there's not spots, like in Hollywood, you're like, okay, scary, bugs trying to attack me. And then you're like, oh, look, it's a restaurant.
Yeah.
And, oh, look, it's a special effects show that has Jabberwockies in it. The horror breaks.
Yeah, and then you go to the lower lot, and the last couple of years, we don't even have a scare zone in the lower lot. So you legitimately have this long walk where there's no horror.
In Orlando, it's like anywhere you turn, there's something going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, I felt like the only places that weren't safe, and you'd even see them, like I remember we were sitting, what was the pub called? Mulligan's?
Yeah, Mulligan's, I believe.
We were sitting there having dinner, right? And there was a scare actor that was just standing at the door. Wasn't coming in, but just standing at the door and was just sitting there going...
I think there was some girl in there that was really scared and just like hiding behind her boyfriend, and he's just like pointing at her.
Definitely more immersive. Something going on everywhere. You felt like you were in the event. Like it didn't feel like it was just in, out, in, out.
The scare actors in the scare zones there have a lot more freedom. So if you guys have been to Not Scary Farm, here, a lot of the scare actors in Not Scary Farm, even though their budget isn't as high and their costumes aren't as good, they create their own characters. They have their own personas. They can talk to you. And here in Hollywood, you don't really have the scare actors talk to you. They have to keep their mouths shut. They can just scare you, and then they have to leave. Over here in Orlando, it's like they'll talk to you. They have their own character. They'll give you their backstory. And it just immerses you even more, not only in the atmosphere, but just you feel like they're real scary people. That was in HHN 25 when they had the psychoscarapy scare zone in the New York Street. And it's all these mental patients that are just out running about, and they're celebrating Halloween. So there's this guy carving a face as a pumpkin, and he's like, hey, look at this, and he's talking to you. And I was just like, dude, these people are really crazy. Like, it didn't feel like actors. I was like, man, this is terrifying.
The park was built to be a theme park in Orlando. Hollywood was a studio that was like, hey, let's put a theme park in. And to this date, it struggles to, I think, to find its identity 100%.
Maybe slowly getting there, right? Hopefully.
Hopefully. You can't forget about the icons. You've got the original icons.
So what? So you have Caretaker, Storyteller, Jack the Clown. Who else do we got? See, we're more Hollywood-centric.
I was going to say Carrie, but it's not actually Carrie. It's Cindy.
Cindy, who hasn't officially been an icon yet, but she's associated to the Caretaker.
Was rumored to come this year.
We'll see. Fortune Teller. Lady Luck, Bloody Mary.
Is that her name?
Reflection of Fear. Yeah, they had her there.
It's a Bloody Mary?
Yeah.
So it's the same as a drink.
Yeah. Isn't it Bloody Mary? Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, the one you say in the mirror. Yeah.
That's right.
All of the original icons compared to us who are primarily IP focused, right?
Yes, now we did have the director. We did have Jack.
The Clown, yeah.
Director done a little bit better than Jack. Jack was just kind of
just kind of
an afterthought. Right? Yeah, like, okay, we're going to use the marketing.
I mean, the icons itself, like just going to HHN 25 and how themed it was, because you have Jack the Clown in his own maze, which was the Monsters, 25 Years of Monsters and Mayhem. So it was a cool throwback, I'm sure, for Orlando fans that got to see all these mazes come back in one giant mega maze. And then you got to see the show with Jack torturing people with Chance helping him. And it was, even for me and you, I'm assuming as well, as we're not as familiar with these characters, but just knowing that they're part of that history and seeing them at the event again, like celebrating it, 25th year, it just gave me goosebumps going in. And
yeah, and it was it was just fun.
Yeah.
Like it adds a different element to the whole experience. And I know, just like most of the addicts who sit and just wait for info to be released, like it was fun looking at the website and getting their backstories and getting all that information.
And just to say, this year's website for Orlando is looking pretty cool with the skulls and the roses. And
if it's Day of the Dead, I'm just not sure.
I think it's cool, no?
And I could see that in LA. There isn't a racist bone in my body. Isn't a racist bone in my body. But I will say that I feel like the Day of the Dead kind of fits more of a Hispanic culture. And I feel like it's definitely a more Hispanic-based audience in LA versus Orlando. So I could see it being very successful there. I'm going to call it now. I think that the website and the icon that we'll get this year, I think it's going to be yanked straight from Singapore.
Yeah?
Yep.
There she is.
Right there.
Look at that.
She was used there. Definitely has the roses going on. It's got the skulls going on.
That's a good guess. I'm hoping it is Dia de los Muertos related. Day of the Dead.
He's got a little Hispanic.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. There's not as big of a Hispanic community there as it is in LA, but I think it's cool to share different cultures with people that may not be as familiar, because they can build off of this elaborate story. They can create this icon. I'm down for whatever it is.
I just think, I mean, I know you and I disagree on Chance, and I think a lot of people would disagree with me, but to me, there hasn't really been a super strong female icon.
You're not racist, you're sexist.
I guess,
Got it.
I
I'm
guess I'm racist and sexist tonight. I'm gonna disagree.
Hit that like button if you think he's sexist and racist. Chance was fun. She wasn't like a scary character or anything like that, but she's fun.
I'm just gonna say, I think that maybe what you were born as might play a role in the fact that you, like Chance,
What? Like, does she have a big heart?
so big it takes up her whole chest. So I'm just saying, maybe it was a visual thing that made you like Chance a little bit more. He's got one of the best girlfriends ever. You've seen her in his videos.
She's gonna kill me now.
She's awesome. The one thing I will say is history shows he likes the girls like Chance. If you can think of any, definitely let us know down in the comments. And then,
why'd you say it like that?
Comment.
Yeah, definitely let us know. Let's keep the conversation going. Check out our Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page. Primarily Facebook for now. We're gonna release more information on certain things that are happening, and then the website as well.
www.hhnaddict.com.
Stay tuned for comparisons we'll be doing between Orlando and Hollywood this year. In-depth reviews, vlogs.
We'll be doing some live broadcasting from the events.
That's exciting. It's different. That's something I've never done.
And we'll actually have some more details coming up as well. We're going to do one of our HHN Addict mixers, which is something we did in the past. We're going to get you guys together. We're going to record this podcast with you guys there, answer questions, have discussion. Yeah, he's learning about it right now.
So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we'll see you guys
next time.
Unless we die.